Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. It's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam. Alright.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Box Trick. I'm your host, Matt Brady. Joining me today, as always, is my partner in crime, Ezra Kirk. Ez, how you doing today?
Well, I'm real jacked. After I just listened to some J-pop,
sometimes Ez and I listen to some J-pop to get ready to record these episodes. So, guys, it is March 5th. We have been teasing a announcement, and we're kind of finally here with it. And I guess before we begin, we should probably just honestly, we talk about it a lot, Ez, in that you and I do a lot of podcasts, we do a lot of productions. So, I mean, obviously people have seen the title, so they kind of know what it is.
Yeah.
We're going to do Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, the Canon Audio Drama.
Yeah. Yep, it's going to be epic. There's going to be some chaos.
Absolutely. A lot of chaos dunks.
A lot of chaos. And it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, people, do they know what it is?
See, I definitely think there's definitely people who are like, what are you talking about? Okay, so if you don't know anything about Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, here's a little quick story. There were a handful of games called Barkley Shut Up and Jam back in the day. Back in the 90s, what happened is companies would license, especially sports games, would just try to find some athlete to throw on their cover of a sports game. And so Charles Barkley happened to get it. And these games kind of predate the NBA Jam series. So in the 2000s, these group of guys got together and wanted to make a game, and they just wanted to make it about something ridiculous. And so they landed on Barkley Shut Up and Jam. They wanted to make a sequel to something. And what unfolded is just the most absurd, ridiculous story I've ever seen.
Of all time.
Yeah. Of all time. And we've just always kind of joked about that game, and we want to do it justice.
Yeah.
The justice it deserves. Now, Ezra and I, as well as, a lot of the other people, Tiffany, Thomas, Alan, and then, our buddy Mike at Rebel Watch, as well as just a lot of people, our buddy Lane at Unexpected Podcast, the girls at Swish and Flick. Guys, we literally live for podcasting.
We do.
We really do. We talk about it all the time. It's what we do. We love it. We want to do it more. And the reason we're turning to Kickstarter for this is we have most, if not all, of the equipment.
Yeah, we do.
And we're just looking at it, and that's why we're not asking for a lot of money. Really, the only thing our studio is really missing is some good, high-quality studio phone.
Yeah. There's
definitely other things that if we hit stretch goals and things like that, we'll do. We're going to try and do this project even if we don't hit our goal at all on Kickstarter. It's definitely a passion project. Ultimately, I mean, realistically, I'm hoping to get something in like a couple $1,000s. That way I can just pay some voice actors to just come in and for one day and read lines. But all I'm asking for is I think $350.
Yeah,
pretty small goal, because I think really we could do it ourselves. We just got some studio phone. I try to be as transparent as possible when you ask people money.
Exactly, and we have friends who are podcasters who could help us out with some voice acting. So
absolutely,
I think we definitely could do it. I got a question for you, Matt. What if in 2041 podcasting was outlawed?
It's possible.
What if it was outlawed? What would you do? What would you do? Would you summon the most powerful podcast?
There might be nothing I could do, but there'd be one thing I could do.
Yeah.
I would perform a chaos dunk.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
It would be the podcast version of that.
Exactly.
I'm a little confused. Normally I deal in a long time ago, but this is going to be in the future for me.
This is in the future.
So
okay. If you can't slam with the best,
wow,
you got to jam with the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think really what this should be is kind of the project itself. What we want to do is an audio drama. So if you've ever listened to an old-fashioned audio drama, where it's not just people reading lines, there's sound effects, there's music. It really is it's like listening to a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it really adds an element of depth. And that's what we want to do for this game. Our goal is to get it around an hour and a half, I think. It's kind of a bigger game. So what is it going to look like? It's pretty much going to be on the production side of it. Getting the script down from the game, cutting that down, deciding which characters we want, which characters we don't. We want to stay as true to the original story.
I was going to ask.
This is totally meant to be a love letter to that game.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
And it's canon, so the future. It's a love letter to the future.
That's great. So Blood Moses will be in this game.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Blood Moses. Yeah.
All
the Monstars, Barkley, the ghost of Dikembe Mutombo.
Okay.
Yeah. Father Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. You better believe it. They're all in there. And so I think really anybody who knows anything about Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden is gonna think this is great. So what I really want to sell you guys on here, and I don't mean sell you guys as in like, please come give us money. I mean, this is why what I view is this is something that I think the internet deserves.
Yep.
I think is something the internet would want. And that's ultimately what we try to do is give the people what they want. Mm-hmm. And so I honestly have so much respect for this absurd game that I want to do it justice because I believe that is what it is due. So really what we're asking is for you to place this in our hands and let us work on it.
Yeah.
And so as I think it's time we talk a little bit honestly about our credentials when it comes to YouTube, what your and I schedule legitimately looks like. So I don't think people really have a good insight actually as to what we do with all of our podcasting and what it looks like.
Wow. It's a lot. It's intense.
How many podcasts legitimately, we joke, but how many podcasts do you and I run together? I mean, well, not just you and I, but I mean collectively.
Well, let's go. Maybe we've got Rebel Watch.
Rebel Watch, which is an all Star Wars podcast.
Yep.
It is on YouTube and Podbean. How many? We do 5 podcasts a month? 5 podcasts a month and YouTube videos.
Right.
So sometimes we're talking about 10 pieces of content a month.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
Box Trick is a weekly podcast, and then I try to also put it on YouTube as well as do gameplay footage, reviews, things like that. Rebel Watch, we also do a Twitch stream every other Friday, so that's another piece that goes into that month. Just started another podcast, Of the People. That's every other week podcast. As you do Up Talkin' Tolkien.
Yep, that's also every other week. We do a podcast there. We do some Patreon material as well, so that can be anywhere from, that's about 4 to 5 pieces a month.
And then our formerly known as Second Breakfast, now known as Bend the Knee, which is a Game of Thrones thing, we do every week, and we do a Patreon for that as well. So, guys, I mean, literally the amount of days we have free is not a lot.
Right, that's true.
But having said that, don't think like, hey, if you guys are going to do this project, where are you going to find time? I have tentatively structured things out as a teacher. So our goal is to launch this December 25th. That is legitimately when so Christmas. That is legitimately when I believe would be that is ample enough time to get it done and edited the way I want. Because this is a lot of audio editing. Because I don't want to just use sound clips. I want to hey, maybe I have to go dribble an actual basketball and try it in different settings.
Yep.
That's really why we're asking. That's really what we're asking for in the dollar amount is just studio foam. That's really all we're buying. Is we have a lot of other equipment that we have bought on our own that we would use just for all of our podcasting in general.
Yeah, and this room is kind of echoey that we're in right now, where we do most of our
main
podcasting.
recording room.
Yeah, so we have closets and different things that we kind of can hop into and do some stuff. But it'd be nice to have if you have a couple people doing a scene, it'd be nice to have them all in the same room.
Absolutely, it would make this kind of a project a lot easier.
It'd make it feel more like they're.
It'll make it authentic together. Too. Yeah.
So. So yeah, I think that would definitely be helpful.
Yeah.
And then I think it's realistic to say it's a Christmas present.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
a Christmas present. And like I said, so Ezra's a teacher, so the bulk of the work of this podcast or this audio drama is going to be done this summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It's the timetable. It's probably going to take me a month or two to get the script the way I want it.
Yeah.
We're going to do a lot of, I guess, probably the vocal recording in the summer, trying to find the right people to do it. Luckily, I have done a lot of acting in the Columbus area, and so I actually have a very large network of actors that I would totally come do this. So that's where if we hit stretch goals, things like that, I would be hopefully being able to pay some people to make it a little more enticing for them to actually want to do this absurd project. But even that shouldn't cost a lot just because it's like one day. My goal is theoretically they're just coming in and reading lines. This should be like a 1 day record session for them, so I don't have to drag them back in here. But obviously give them the lines beforehand, and then after that it's going to be a ton of editing.
Right. Yeah, and one thing I think to sell people, again, to use the word on this, is just go look at the plot. If you've never played it and you're like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, just go look it up. Go watch
I'll post a link to the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Just read the plot synopsis, and it's so absurd.
It's so absurd that you'll be like, I would love to see these guys try and do this.
Yeah. Well, and the other reason I want to do the audio drama is I try to tell people about this game all the time, but it's so difficult because one, it's an older freeware game, and so you'd still have to go get it, download it, and play it. And when you show people a trailer, it's just not enough. I want more people to know about this game, which is really why I want to do it, and so I want to put it in something that is more accessible to people.
Right, exactly. And also, I believe there's a sequel coming out as well.
There's a sequel,
too.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of cool to help.
If it, when it eventually comes out, it was kickstarted.
It was announced in
2012 or 13. Yeah. So guys, that's kind of it. This is our first Kickstarter, so this is also kind of our first experience with Kickstarter. I may actually launch it tonight. I may launch it this week. I still just want to make sure it's all tidied up. I'll have a link to it. So just so you guys kind of know, because I've been telling you guys here on Box Trick that we had a big March 5th announcement. It is March 5th. That is the announcement. So, as anything else you want to say about it? We're trying. This is us. This is us speaking to the people that could potentially put in the trust in us for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big. I mean, it's a burden, but I mean, it needs to be done. That's what Matt said. It needs to be done. And so we're willing to do it. I just think it's also a test for us.
It is.
Kind of see if we can. What does it take?
Yeah, because we always do weekly projects.
Yeah.
We always do. We always do. Okay, what's the next video? What's the next thing? But we're always talking about
something bigger.
And actually, we have done smaller ones of these. You can find them actually on our Bend the Knee podcast. Back when it was called Second Breakfast, we were doing interpretive fan fiction.
That's right.
Where we were just going on finding fan fictions and trying to do them in voices and things like that. And they were pretty well received. And so we thought, okay, why don't we do something bigger? Why don't we do an audio drama? And this is something we have been talking about and we've been wanting to do for a while. And we want to do more of these in the future. So that's kind of our honest to God hope, is that this is something we do. We crush it out of the park, and then it gives us credibility to be able to do more of these in the future.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, I'd say that's all. I think it's going to be fun to do because it's number one. It's really interesting, like the story. Like I said, it's crazy and stuff like that. And then plus, it's just a challenge and something different. So I'm excited to give it a go.
Yeah, we like to say that we're that prosumer level, right? Where we have Ezra and I probably legitimately collectively, as well as probably our buddy Mike, we've probably spent around $10,000 on our own equipment that we would just do just because we love podcasting.
That's right. Yep.
So I think $350 is what we're asking for, and that's pretty much we're going to studio foam the entire place, at least our big, huge main recording room, and then I think we're there. I think we're at that. I think that it's helping us take that next step into the legit professional podcasting.
Yeah, so I mean, even if you can't help us kickstart it, which is it's what this is all about. We would
Absolutely,
we would like your help in that. But even if you can't, no big deal. Let us know that you're excited about it. If you are excited, go look up the plot and then say, guys, this would be sick, or guys, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. If
people respond like, Matt, this is dumb, don't waste your time on it. Okay,
right.
This is just
We'll do one of two things. We'll say okay, or we'll prove you wrong.
Exactly.
So
okay, I'm somebody who's willing to fail. This is I'm somebody with a lot of big ideas, and I'm willing to say, hey, this is a big idea I have.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And sometimes I need people to say no.
Yeah.
So I can say, I did it anyway.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
So anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much. Just thank you for your support in general on the channel. I seriously, Tiffany and I, as well as all of the channels we do. We always read the comments, always love to hear them. So let us know what you think. And as always, thanks for listening.